What's a cheat code you discovered in real life that actually works? Story 1. Compliment people sincerely, not every time you see them, but occasionally. It makes them feel good, encourages them to be kinder to you, and boosts your own happiness. Story 2. As a bouncer at a club, I deal with people who get upset when I deny entry due to missing or expired IDs. I started saying, "I totally get it, bro, but that guy over there," pointing to a random patron inside, "works for the liquor board. He's doing an undercover inspection and watching my every move." This defuses the situation 99% of the time, eliminating the usual "no one will notice" argument, and they leave without a fuss. Story 3. When workers are at your home, treat them like people and be kind. I offered our plumber coffee or a muffin, I had extras, and he waived a $500 drain unclogging fee, saying, "People sometimes forget we're human too." I gave muffins I was going to toss to technicians fixing our building's intercom, and they gave me a 10% discount. I'm not saying to expect rewards, but people appreciate kindness and sometimes reciprocate. Story 4. Walking equals weight loss. You don't need a gym, just move more. To lose weight, skip pills or injections. Focus on diet and exercise. Eat fewer calories and walk an hour daily at a brisk pace, about 8,000 steps, for slow, steady weight loss. Double it to 16,000 steps and avoid overeating to burn more fat. Also, sleep is crucial. I used to skimp on sleep, but getting a full 8 hours reduces my snacking and improves how I feel. Trainers say sleep is non-negotiable, your body repairs during it. I got a Samsung watch in January, and tracking my sleep, weight and exercise is transforming my life. Regardless of your appearance, less excess fat makes you look better. Sufficient sleep makes you feel better. Story 5. Align your actions with your identity. To change a behavior, root it in who you are, not just what you do. For example, quitting drinking is harder for someone who identifies as an alcoholic, constantly battling the thought, "Should I drink?" A non-drinker doesn't face that question because it's not part of their identity. Saying, "I don't drink," creates distance from, "I'm trying to quit." Act like a non-drinker, e.g., keep no alcohol at home, until it becomes your identity. Similarly, regular gym-goers don't struggle with motivation. Lifting weights is as routine as showering because they identify as someone who trains. This isn't about discipline but alignment. Discipline is like engine oil, not the engine itself. Gamers spend thousands of hours mastering games because they're aligned with reward systems, entering a flow state. To excel, align activities with your identity and reward system. To break bad habits, remove them from your identity. Reduce friction for positive habits and increase it for negative ones. Treat goals like video game challenges. Alignment outperforms brute force, like pushing a cart along its tracks instead of against them. Building lasting habits is about becoming, not just doing. Many online resources offer specific strategies for this. Story 6. Just ask or speak up. It works 99% of the time. Many systems rely on you staying silent. For example, if you forget someone's name, say, "I remember you from place, but I'm terrible with names. What's yours?" They'll tell you and you can follow up with, "What have you been up to?" If you recall their last name, try, "Johnson, right? Why can't I remember your first name?" This makes it seem like a momentary lapse. Another example. When buying my car, I asked the dealer to explain a policy, like I'm 5, and write down the final answer. It took time, but I didn't care about looking foolish. When helping my friend get a medical appointment, I had to push nurses to return her call, which took nearly 3 weeks. I insisted she confirm if that was the earliest slot and stress her urgency. They found an appointment 2 weeks sooner the next Tuesday. Just asking, calmly without demanding, made the difference. Story 7. When asking for help, especially for things people aren't eager to assist with, e.g., getting into a full class, changing a lab schedule, or overcoming a university rejection, ask, "What are my options?" instead of, "Is there an option?" The latter invites an easy no. while the former forces the person to consider solutions. This helped a friend overturn a university rejection. Also, rules, deadlines, and barriers aren't always absolute. They're often opportunities to prove your determination. Read Randy Pausch's The Last Lecture for life-changing guidance on this. I got into grad school by asking the right people the right questions, like who to contact and what options existed when my GPA was low. If a rule is arbitrary, there's often flexibility or loopholes if you show you're worth the effort. Use common sense as results vary. Story 8. Choose what to care about. My stress levels dropped significantly over the past 6 years by ignoring things like social media and focusing on my immediate family and personal goals. I don't track my extended family's daily opinions or activities, and I've never been happier. In daily interactions, I redirect conversations away from irrelevant topics, like my coworkers' conspiracy theories, by saying, "I don't care. Got that project I sent you?" Focusing energy only on what I can control is incredibly liberating. Story 9. Build a strong reputation at work early on to get leeway later. In a new job, give your all for the first month. Tackle any task with maximum effort, take on undesirable chores, arrive early, stay 10 minutes late within reason, and never complain. The bar is often low, so this makes you a star employee. Afterward, even if you ease up or make mistakes, people will still see you as excellent because first impressions stick. Story 10. For painting custom action figures, use Sharpie creative markers instead of brush paint, primer, or spray paint. They have a smooth matte finish, don't chip easily, dry quickly, and their fine, flexible brush tips are perfect for small or tricky areas. The red shade dries too light for my taste, but otherwise the $20 Walmart pack is fantastic for beginners avoiding professional paints. Story 11. The Rule of Options. Deciding what to eat in relationships used to cause me anxiety. The classic "what do you want?" You pick, exchange followed by a lukewarm "I guess that's fine" was frustrating. I learned, possibly from a movie or show, to offer specific options. For DoorDash I say, "How about X from this place, Y from another, or Z from that one?" This usually gets a positive response like, "Y sounds good, let's do that." It makes my partner feel relieved for not deciding, and I feel good for their enthusiasm. At home I check the fridge and say, "Pork chops, mac and cheese, or spaghetti, what sounds good, love?" It almost always works. Also, get an air fryer, it's magical. Story 12. If you're physically able, lift weights. You won't bulk up instantly, and with proper form you won't get hurt. No one at the gym is judging you, and if they are, ignore them. Consistent strength training makes daily tasks easier, reduces depression, boosts longevity and quality of life, and builds confidence. Make it part of your routine for these benefits. Story 13. Don't assume big organizations like sports teams won't listen to you. I've built rapport with the last 4 general managers of my local NFL team by calling their directory number and leaving a message. They called back quickly, listened to my concerns as a fan, and gave me their personal cell numbers. We now discuss team matters regularly, and they value my input. Story 14. Occasionally go the extra mile for a stranger without expecting anything. Small acts, like tossing someone's trash at a food truck event, leaving a kind note in a library book, or paying for the next person's coffee, spread joy. Larger acts like sharing an employee discount, if allowed, are also appreciated. At a convention I gave a family my portable charger and Nintendo swag, easing their stress. 2 years later that memory still brings me joy. Kindness is contagious, and good deeds often return, either directly or by making you notice life's positives. Story 15. Maintenance is key to preserving anything valuable: health, relationships, or possessions. For health, eat better, walk, or hit the gym. For oral health, brush well, cut sugar, and drink water. For friends or partners, spend time and effort. For your car, maintain gas, oil, tires, and washes. For your home, service the water heater and change air filters. Proactive maintenance saves time and money compared to fixing problems later. Tracking everything, car maintenance, home tasks, even date nights, in a Notes app keeps things under control and feels empowering. Story 16. Master basic office tools like Outlook, PowerPoint, and Excel. This has propelled my career more than technical expertise. I've seen more qualified colleagues overlooked because they struggled with formatting presentations, managing emails, or organizing spreadsheets. Being able to create clear presentations in 30 minutes, set email rules, or produce clean Excel reports makes you seem competent and reliable, even if your expertise is average. It's not flashy but highly effective. Story 17. During my annual review, I mentioned that money doesn't motivate me, which I later learned was a powerful move. I documented my achievements in an employee journal, expecting recognition for my initiatives. My review was positive, mostly meets or exceeds expectations, but ignored my specific contributions. My managers seemed annoyed I wasn't overly grateful for a high raise, one of the department's largest. I thanked them but said money wasn't my driver. My uncle, a high-level executive, explained this made me intimidating, excellent but not swayed by money, meaning I could leave for better appreciation elsewhere. Since then, I've received multiple promotions and generous raises. Story 18. To combat mosquitoes, use 100% DEET military grade for maximum effectiveness, though it melts plastic and may pose long-term risks. Citronella repellent or soap is a safer alternative, though less potent. Avoid scented products, perfume, lotion, deodorant, for a week before outdoor activities, and eat citrus fruits or vitamin C tablets to deter mosquitoes. A colleague in Canada who smelled like oranges from vitamin C was rarely bitten. Avoid bananas, they attract mosquitoes like crazy. Mosquitoes track CO2 and are confused by certain chemicals. DEET, citronella, and citrus work best, while bananas make you a target. Story 19. Don't negotiate against yourself. I used to offer my time or effort preemptively to be helpful, but I learned to pause for 10 seconds and let situations resolve without giving up something unnecessarily. This applies to price negotiations and social interactions. Staying silent avoids overcompromising and has transformed how I navigate life. Story 20. Dress respectfully to improve service interactions. Wearing a navy blazer, even a cheap one over a t-shirt and jeans, changes how people treat you. They assume you're respectable. Hoodies, associated with casual or disrespectful behavior, often lead to poorer treatment. I wear hoodies daily but add a blazer for restaurants or flights, securing instant tables, upgrades, or serious responses to complaints. Story 21. Positive energy pays off. My mom called me spoiled, but I realized my looks help, though I focus on being funny and helpful. This attitude gets me what I want: invitations, free meals, and fun times, without effort. Being genuinely kind, not worrying about my appearance, and putting others first paradoxically puts me first. It's a powerful cheat code even if it annoys some. Story 22. Army lessons are cheat codes. Attention to detail, do what's needed, better you than me, the minimum is enough, anything can happen to anyone and actions have consequences. These principles guide effective decision-making. Story 23. Bake simple homemade treats for any occasion. Hospital visits, meetings, thank yous, or celebrations. Sharing food is a primal bonding ritual, fulfilling emotional needs and improving any situation. Always consider dietary restrictions. Story 24. As a student, I took a train to visit family downtown, far from the station. To avoid a taxi, I used a nearby hotel's free shuttle, acting like a guest. The driver didn't question me and I got a free ride to their neighborhood.